Greetings, barbecue family. Welcome to another live episode of the Backyard SmokeMaster BBQ Podcast. Happy Friday. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. We're very happy to be back on live. Glad to have my lovely wife, Janine, joining. How's it going, Janine?
It's going. I'm grateful to be here.
So it's always, a little funny. I like to kind of give folks, a little bit of the behind the scenes view of what's going on here. Janine initially told me she wouldn't be able to join tonight because she was making some other plans. I think she had some other errands and things like that to do. And
then holiday shopping. I've got to finish out my list. You've given me a bunch of folks to plan for. I've got stuff to do.
Of course. And then, 25 minutes before we're supposed to go live, she decides to tell me, I'll be happy to join, so this will be good. This will be interesting. So I'm going to put you right on the spot.
Of course.
All right. So I think we do have a pretty good episode lined up for today. Really excited to get into it. Okay. What are we talking about tonight, Janine?
I don't know.
All right. I had to get my dig in. All right. Well, let's say hello to some folks. As always, I appreciate you all for tuning in and definitely for jumping into the comments, because as I say every week, your comments are really the engine that drives the show.
That's true.
So very happy to say hello to Jeff. Good evening, Jeff.
All right.
Let's see, what else do we have here? Then we've also got correctional officer for lockdown, Bruce.
That's right, a.k.a. Bruce.
A.k.a. Bruce. I think it's Bruce, a.k.a. correctional officer for lockdown.
Probably.
So always glad to have you guys tuning in.
Yeah.
So again, as I mentioned, I think this is a good time to kind of do this type of a podcast. We're getting towards the end of the year. And I think, those of us who are really passionate about barbecue, and it's kind of like our lifeblood, so to speak, we're always kind of assessing the grills, the smokers that we have, and the grills and the smokers that we want. With Christmas coming up, of course, and we just went through like Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and I'm sure if you're like me, you got inundated with a lot of emails with different offerings and things like that.
Did you get tempted?
I'm always tempted, whether it's Black Friday or not, there's always a pretty good temptation out there. But yeah, and it kind of, amongst those emails and offers, you see things, of course, barbecue related. And then for those of you who are kind of like, kind of thinking maybe this is something I want to get into, maybe I want to start to learn how to barbecue, or you want to up your barbecue game, or maybe get some a new grill or a smoker. Hopefully, this episode will be good for you. It'll give you some food for thought. And then for those of you, again, if you already got grills or smokers, maybe this will give you some additional ideas. So tonight's topic is the insider's guide to the wonderful world of barbecue grills and smokers. So we've got a lot of material. I don't know if we're going to get through all of it in this one podcast. This might be a
two-parter.
A two-parter, okay. Possibly. Let's see. Okay. Correctional officers is saying that we are AKA the A-team. All right. Appreciate that. And also says that his wife is out shopping this very minute.
Yeah, there's, you know what? It's like Thanksgiving was so late this year that we don't have very many days to kind of get in the shopping and, you know, without going crazy. And that is not my goal this year, to go crazy. So every little moment I've got, I'm trying to like maximize it, you know? And so I understand what Bruce is saying. His wife is out there trying to get the bargains and, you know, stretch her dollars, stretch his dollars.
Right.
Yeah, and be loving and kind, which is what I was trying to do.
Okay. Janine is definitely playing up the sympathy card. All right, but let's get into it.
I'm ready for you.
And I'm going to try out some a new feature here, and hopefully this will cooperate with me. All right, so I'm going to share my presentation right off of my iPad. So far so good. Huh. Oh, but before we jump in, I think Bruce probably saw on the news, and he's asking, how's the weather? So we did get a bit of a scare.
It wasn't a bit of a scare. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
My job is sending me like emails and text messages. I think Ken's job got it. There was a huge thing on our cell phone, that the blasting noise with a tsunami alert. It was just crazy yesterday.
Right. So basically, if you aren't aware, there were, I think I'm aware of two earthquakes.
There were two massive ones.
Right, two large earthquakes, one in the Pacific Ocean.
Near Humboldt County.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that one, the one that was in the ocean was actually closer to Oregon, off the coast of Oregon. Okay. And then it was followed by an earthquake, a large upquake up in Humboldt County, which is considerably north of us. But what these earthquakes do, and especially when it's on the ocean and
so close together
near the coastline, is then they create an effect in the ocean, a tsunami. And we started to get these warnings about, you know, the tsunami hitting, the effect and the waves crashing in, specifically in San Francisco. And then also we were getting, I got a word or an alert advising that neighborhoods in Berkeley, which is where my mom lives, were under a mandatory evacuation order.
It was like 9.3 million people. It was not a small thing. It was absolute chaos for probably a couple hours. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and you know, we're both lifelong, you know, Californians. Definitely have gone through our share of large earthquakes.
Oh, absolutely.
But the tsunami thing, you know, while I've heard about them, never experienced that.
It was next level.
So, you know, you just kind of like, you know, because even though we didn't feel the earthquakes here, the fact that we were getting these warnings about the tsunami, and you're kind of like, okay, well, what the hell am I supposed to do with that?
And do I have enough time to do anything? Like, we started looking at each other like, okay, you know what this thing is? And I'm like, no. Do you know what it is? He's like, no. And then my boss is pinging me, telling me 9.3 million people are under tsunami warning, and it's stretching into Berkeley. I'm like,
So my mom doesn't drive anymore, so that was the big panic moment, you know, you know, we decided to, you know, jump in the car and head over there to try to, you know, in case she needed to be evacuated.
Yeah.
But fortunately, the tsunami warning did get canceled while we were en route. Yeah. And I didn't really hear of much impact here in the Bay Area. I know there was some damage, up in Humboldt from the earthquake,
for sure.
but I don't know that the tsunami came to pass, so to speak, which is a good thing.
Right. But when they thought it was coming, they were using catastrophic type words, and it was like, oh my goodness, what do we do here?
Right. So fortunately, things did work out okay. We're good.
Berkeley is fine.
Actually, as far as the weather itself, it's actually been pretty nice, actually. Kind of, unusually a little, I don't want to say warm, but
even in the
60s.
morning, like I tend to walk in the mornings, early mornings. A lot of times it's in the 40s, like crazy weather. It's been balmy in the over 50s and
low 60s.
Yeah, and then during the
nice.
day, I think the high might have been 69. It's something kind of crazy. I'm riding this good weather wave, Bruce. So thanks for asking.
But I have noticed that when we do get kind of unusually warm weather in this type of season, I do kind of associate that with earthquake weather.
For sure, right?
It just, seems like weird stuff starts happening.
Oh,
but we're good.
Heat wave.
All right, well, let's jump into this.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so we're going to start with pellet grills. Okay. And, pellet grills have grown in popularity in recent years.
That's true.
Offering a convenient and versatile way to grill, smoke, and bake outdoors. They use wood pellets that are made from compressed sawdust to provide heat and flavor. And there are definitely some distinct advantages to pellet grills.
That looks so good.
One of them, what I would consider to be the main advantage of having a pellet grill, is the ease of use. If you are looking for a set it and forget it experience, a pellet grill, a well-made one, is going to offer that for you. I mean, it's really simple. They have these digital controls, punch in the temperature you want, and then the electronics does all the work for you in maintaining the temperature throughout your cook. So if you're someone who's wanting to just get started in barbecue, and you don't have much time or looking for a easy to learn, not much of a learning curve, the pellet grill is definitely a good way to go.
Well, isn't it a good way to go as well if you need to do a longer cook and it's low and slow and it might go through the night, so you can kind of, you don't have to be up all night. You can. Yeah,
that's another one of the benefits. Yeah, you can do a super long overnight cook, just like you said, all night, and not have to worry about doing much other than making sure that your hopper has enough pellets in it.
Yeah.
Pellet grills are great. They're very versatile, can be used for grilling and smoking.
They don't
baking,
cost that much either.
Roasting. Well, you said they don't cost that much?
I don't think so. I mean, it seems like there's been a pretty good bumper crop of them at what I would call a reasonable price. So, for me, like, my reasonable and your reasonable might be two different things.
It runs the gamut.
Like how much?
Well, okay. So like, for instance, here we're looking at, looks like a Weber smoke fire. The smoke fire, if I recall, was going for maybe, I want to say $1,300
See?
In that ballpark. I think the newer one, man, I forgot the name of the newer one that came out and replaced this one. It's what is it called? Smoke.
Somebody will know.
Smoke something. Yeah, but they have a new generation that replaced the original that goes for a little bit cheaper, and I'm starting to see some reviews about them.
Are they good or
they
positive?
They are good. They are positive, and I would actually consider one. I wouldn't be mad if you put that newer one under my tree.
Huh. Well, you probably should have told me that a while ago.
Well, no. I'm just saying. Another good thing about pellet grills is that it's easy to. You can combine different flavors.
Yes.
You can get your wood pellets. You can mix them. Now, I do have some thoughts. Not all pellets are created equally. She's leaning on my chair for some reason.
I'm scooting over. I'm digging your presence. I want to be right next to you.
All right, but just don't knock me out of the chair now. Not all pellets are created the same. A lot of times, you see them and they might say cherry pellets, but the filler is usually oak. Yeah. And it might just have a small percentage of cherry in it. So be careful. Some brands are better than other. I'm a big proponent of smoking pecans pellets. Right. They're made from pecan shells. Right. So those are definitely pretty good. There are also some others that I'm trying to remember. Oh my God, it starts with an L. Why am I'm blanking out? There's another brand. There are a couple of brands that that you're likely to get 100% of what it says.
Now, are those brands like available at like your local Ace, or do you have to pretty much get them online?
Usually online.
Yeah. So I think the ones that you might find that are sort of everywhere at the Walmart, at the Sam's Club, at the Costco, those aren't necessarily the ones you're recommending, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let me see if I can get that comment. Hopefully that's the full comment that Jeff has here is showing up on the broadcast. So Jeff says that's a benefit of pellet grills. They've gotten mainstream. And there is a lot of range of prices. Yeah, I agree with that. There's definitely a big range of prices. You can get some, really cheap, $500, $400.
See, that's why I like that.
It goes up.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're beginning and you don't want to spend a ton of money, but you still want a good product and you want to be able to get to it right away, that to me, that versatility of the price, I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, but there are, you can spend a pretty penny. The top of the line Traegers. I'm seeing some pellet grills. I think they have one that's pushing like $3,000. I wouldn't spend that kind of money on a pellet grill. I would spend money like that on an offset smoker or, just a different kind. I don't know about a pellet grill, but that might be my bias. Well, because they're promoting all these different bells and whistles, additional, like now some of them have lights inside, so you can actually watch while it's cooking. Usually they have they're all going to come most of the time with probes, their own kind of specific probes that you can stick to the pellet grill itself to help monitor the cook.
But you don't need to have a $3,000 pellet grill just to get a light and a probe. You can add that, so and that it won't tick up your cost that much. So I don't know. I'm not sold.
Well, I'm just saying, there's a range. There's a range. So again, continuing with the pros though.
Yes.
Consistent temperature. So that's one of the good things about a good pellet grill is that it will keep that average temperature very close to the set point that you establish for it. And that will, help your cook, help result in evenly cooked food and the convenience factor.
That's right.
Pellet grills often have features like automatic startups, timers, and meat probes for convenience. And as usual, Janine gets all the love. Correctional officer says that Janine is very wise. Okay.
Oh, that's okay.
All right. We're starting to have a little bit of some technical issues here.
Oh, let's see.
Okay, wait a minute. There we go.
Yeah, you're back in.
Right,
there you are. Go. Okay, what more?
All right. So the price. Now, these are the cons. So starting with the cons, and we touched on this, your pellet grills can be more expensive, and they usually are. I think on average, they're going to be more expensive than your traditional gas and charcoal grills.
But I think if you're looking for a pellet grill, you're going to know that. You're going to know that this is a step up in terms of price from a gas or charcoal grill. And you're willing to pay that, for that type of, equipment.
Well, it's a little tricky though. I mean, you don't want to spend too much, and then if the equipment doesn't work, doesn't work well, you want a true set it and forget it experience. And again, a lot of them come with a lot of bells and whistles. And the question is, do you really need all of those bells and whistles? Like, for instance, just about all of them today are going to tout the ability to monitor the cook, like the temperatures on your phone.
Which I think would be a useful thing. Like if you don't want to be out there freezing, or it's the middle of the night, or it's raining, or, any kind of weather related or time of day or night situation, that seems like a good feature. Like I actually would really like that feature. And you would too. I know this.
Well, no. Like, for instance, I have my, I got that Z Grills Backyard Warrior pellet grill that was sent to me. I have not yet once used their app.
Oh, no. Really?
I have a Mac pellet grill. Now, granted, the Mac was I got that kind of in the early days of being able to monitor with a phone.
So you don't like the apps?
And, well, I tried... initially, and then, I just found it was a little finicky and more trouble than it was worth.
Interesting.
So,
well, then I think I would like it. That's interesting that's something you wouldn't like, but I think I would really like it.
Possibly. I'll just say possibly. Possibly. Now, Jeff is saying, yes, all the bells, all the whistles. Oh, my goodness. And then he says... lights and sounds. I think he's being a little sarcastic, a little tongue-in-cheek.
I think so too, because I don't think it's worth the extra money for the little bells and whistles. But an app, I kind of do think I would enjoy. That's just me.
If I would say yes, if it really does do a good job and accurate, keeps temperature accurately, because there are a lot of other thermometers that you can get that I think are proven to do a really rock solid job, like
I agree.
ThermoWorks and Fireboard.
Right.
And also, guys, quick plug. I do have a new video that should be coming out this weekend.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully as early as tomorrow.
All right.
Where I'll be taking my initial look, comparing the new wireless thermometers from ThermoWorks against the one versus the one from Fireboard. So that video is about to drop.
Okay.
But before I forget, another big con, with pellet grills is the dependence on electricity. You know, if you don't have access to a power outlet or like a nearby generator
outside,
then you're out of luck.
Yeah.
You have to have an electrical source in order to use a pellet grill, which is not the case with some other types of grills, smokers that are dependent on different types of fuel sources.
Okay.
And then this it's gotten better, but especially I'd say 6-7 years ago, pellet grills were not good at high temperature searing, at maintaining high temps. They've gotten a lot better over the years.
Are they on par with the charcoal and other?
No.
Okay, so they're still not there.
I mean, you can get a charcoal and gas as well. You can get them rip roaring, as hot as you want.
Right.
With gas, you just keep turning that knob, and as long as you've got your gas source, it's going to get very hot. And then, you can get your charcoal grill blazing hot. Yeah. No comparison.
So
pellet grill is not there.
So even at the higher end Traeger, the $3,000, whatever.
I mean, I haven't used it, so I can't say definitively that that's the case. Okay. But if I had to bet money on which can get hotter, you give me a charcoal based grill. Like
any day,
Kamado Joe or something, big green egg, versus that high-end Traeger, I'm going to put my money on the charcoal grill in terms of how hot it can get. And then another con is pellet consumption.
Yeah.
You need to have a continuous supply of pellets, which can add to the cost.
They're definitely not.
Generally, I think on average, you can get like a 20-pound bag for about $20.
Right. But is that the good pellets, or is that just the regular ones?
Those are just, the ones at Ace and Home Depot. Right. And, and they always have sales. You can probably get them a little cheaper than that. You have,
I think, a comment or two. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff says, the Camp Chef controllers, probes, and app work great. I haven't tried any other brands yet. So that's an endorsement for the Camp Chef.
I think so.
Yeah, I just think, I guess I'm a little more old school. I think, when I first got into barbecue and I got my Mac, I was really excited about that, for the, those add-on features. But then as I started to learn and cook more with charcoal and then with my stick burner, some of the tech sometimes can get in the way.
Okay.
Sometimes. But, if they work consistently well, and it sounds like for the Camp Chef, Jeff has a good experience with them, then that's all fine. That's great. That's great. And then if I can get it to come up.
There it is.
Maintenance.
Yeah,
pellet grills do require regular cleaning to prevent ash buildup.
Yeah.
And from time to time, when things, and this happened to me with my Mac, when, my auger, I had issues with an auger. There was also like a firmware update that was needed to the controller that I had to call them for tech support to kind of walk me through how to accomplish that. So, with a pellet grill, because it's dependent on electricity and it's a lot of moving parts, it does make it subject to, potential issues where you'll have to get in there and troubleshoot.
Now, is that how
yourself?
That's what you had to do? Like, you can't call anybody, to come and fix your pellet grills. You have to troubleshoot it, or is that what you chose to do?
Right. No, I had to call. In my case, I had to call Mac and talk to them on the phone, and then they emailed me instructions and things to do, and then I was able to fix it myself.
Okay.
So in their case, they're a small company. They provide great customer service. They definitely didn't leave me hanging, leave me out there. So everything got resolved, and my Mac I've had it now for almost 10 years, and it's still humming, and I use it a lot.
Yeah, you do. Did you just use it for Thanksgiving?
I did. I did. I smoked a brisket on it.
Yeah.
I surely did. All right, let's talk about gas grills.
Oh.
Okay, so before the rise of pellet grills, gas grills were pretty much the dominant, type of like convenient grill on the scene. They're very popular, and known for their convenience and ease of use.
Even now, they're popular still, you think?
I can't say that I'm like closely paying attention to. I can't speak on like what's really selling.
Okay.
But just based on when you go to a hardware store that has a barbecue section, I still see a lot of gas grills.
Yeah. I can't believe they're still selling, though. Like, it's unbelievable. But I guess.
Well, I think.
It's easy.
It's easy.
It's easy.
And people who maybe aren't thrill seeking the, kind of the charcoal wood experience.
Right. They'll go for this.
They want convenient ease. I think it kind of satisfies the lowest common denominator.
I see. Gotcha. Who is just going to put a steak on, or some burgers or hot dogs, the simplest of the kind of barbecue. Okay.
Grilling.
Okay. Gotcha.
And if you do go that route, which I don't recommend, but if you do go that route, Just make sure you're paying attention to your BTUs.
Uh-huh.
They indicate the grill's heat output.
Yeah.
And also generally higher BTUs mean faster heating and higher temps.
And you have a comment?
Jeff says, I think gas is still the best seller. It's easy and convenient. Yeah, and I think that's exactly why you still see them being sold.
And it's entry level, right? It is the truly, I guess, is it?
Well, I mean, it's like pellet grills. There's a range. You can get a relatively inexpensive gas grill, and then you can get one with more bells and whistles.
I think you should ask the viewers if any of them still have a gas grill. I'd like to do a little survey. I'm curious because we got rid of ours.
All right, for you guys that are watching, Janine wants to know, do you have a gas grill? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't my first grill, but it was. Yeah. I did get a gas grill.
Yeah, you did. It was cute. It was.
It was a Weber.
Yeah, and it was like a maroon color or cardinal.
But then, as I got more educated, about the barbecue process and what true barbecue is, and how knowledge about the fact that you can't really smoke on a gas grill. Yeah, it quickly, quickly fell out of favor, ended up in the garage.
Pretty much. And it lived in the garage for years. Yeah. My dad, I can tell you this, never had a gas grill. It was like almost forbidden in his house. He would never have opted for that.
Yeah. Well, some people are afraid of them too because they're gas, I
don't know. I think folks out there are saying hell to the no. They're not getting a gas grill. They don't have one, and it's never going to darken their door. Let's put it that way, or their backyard.
All right.
Oh, even no pellet grill?
Wait a minute. Hold on, I'm trying to get to my next.
That's pros. I think that would be right.
The pros, but
you've got a lot of feedback there.
No gas grill for me. Francisco says, nope. No pellet grill either, but definitely considering.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Okay, that's a good point. So, Francisco, if you were debating between a gas grill and a pellet grill, this is an easy choice.
Pellet.
Pellet grills are just as easy to use as gas grills. Mm-hmm. But the advantage of a pellet grill is that you're cooking with wood.
Absolutely.
You're not going to get the same smoke flavor that you're going to get from a charcoal grill, and certainly not from a stick burner.
But it is there.
But yeah, there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably be a lighter smoke profile, and it is a smoke profile because you really are cooking with wood.
Yeah.
So
no brainer, right?
No brainer. Yeah. Don't get a gas grill.
Bruce.
Okay, yeah. Bruce says I keep fearing. I fear keeping propane gas tanks anywhere near my house. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. That some people are fearful of a gas grill for exactly that reason. Now I do have, even though I don't use a gas grill. We don't have a gas grill anymore.
Right.
Still have.
You have the fryer, and it takes.
Well, I have the fryer that I'm not using,
but
it does
scary.
Work with propane. And then I also have the flat top that uses propane as well. I mean, to me, this is I understand the concern. You just have to make sure, when you're done cooking with the propane, that you close that lid tightly.
That's right.
Make sure you do that.
And I would imagine that, folks do have, the black top or the flat tops out there, because a lot of people, that's fun, right?
So those are great.
Yeah.
Great to have.
Yeah. Just to cook so many things.
All right, but see, we jumped all over gas grills and ran over how
so boring.
They're not the thing to get, but they do have some pros.
All right, I want to hear them.
Okay, they're fast and convenient. They heat up fast and they're easy to use. Simple controls. You just turn the knob.
Yeah, it's like an ignition and boom, you're done, right?
But then I'm kind of like, okay, that ain't really barbecuing.
It's not.
You might as well just be in the house.
Yeah,
if you just turning the knob.
Right. Just put on your stove. Put it in your oven.
Put it in the oven.
It'd be sexier on those two places than. Ugh,
but again, all right, again, okay. Another pro. Temperature control. Gas grills offer precise temperature control, allowing you to cook a variety of foods at different heat levels. Very easy. Janine bristles. They're easier to clean.
Yeah, that is true.
Not dealing with ashes.
But you're not cleaning with like one of those wire brushes, right? Because that will get you in trouble. So how are you cleaning it? Tell me. With an onion?
Right. Clearly, I don't have the right kind of cable to.
Oh, it keeps drying out, huh?
Keep a good connection here.
Maybe you can hold it, or you want me to hold it? I
don't know that it makes a difference.
Okay.
Okay, versatility. So gas grills come with features like side burners, rotisseries, and smoking boxes.
Yeah.
Which provides you with more cooking options. So we won't spend a lot of time on that. Let's jump into the cons.
Yeah, and there's a lot.
Well, again, so we already touched on the fact that they're not going to give you good smoke flavor.
None. They're going to give you none.
Well, there are things like these smoker boxes that you can,
and fake flavor.
Invest in. But
sure.
you might as well just go get a pellet grill.
Absolutely.
Higher initial cost. They do tend to be more expensive than charcoal grills.
That's right. It's just a waste of your dollars, honestly.
You need to have a continuous supply of propane or a natural gas hookup.
That's true.
And that can be inconvenient or costly.
That's true, too.
And the fact that, they do depend on those types of gas sources makes them less portable.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It's just not a good pick.
Enough time on gas.
Absolutely.
Let's get into the charcoal-based grills. And let me just, where was it? There was a comment.
Oh, do you want the mouse?
Kind of losing track of stuff here.
No, that's okay. You're fine.
Jeff said, gas is convenient, but it's boring.
Super boring.
My buddy Lynn says, my house is all electric. We got a gas grill to use when the power goes out.
Smart lady. Go, Lynn. And it's nice to hear from you.
And then Bruce says, are gas grills more prone for flare-ups?
Huh.
Well, it just depends.
On the protein?
Yeah, it depends on the protein and how hot, you run in that gas grill. So, yeah, you can get it. You can definitely get flare-ups with the gas grill for sure. Are they more prone? I don't know if they're necessarily more prone. But, I think the technology kind of plays a part in that, too.
Really?
You do want to make sure, usually they have some type of a drip pan and a channel for the grease, to exit the cooking chamber into the pan, your drip pan. And that's pretty important, too. Okay. Now, Bruce says a kettle.
I think you have Francisco's first.
Something.
You did.
Francisco said, great point. I think I also romanticize mastering the skill of grilling and smoking, fire management, etc., which has delayed my buying anything more than my smoker and kettle.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's, if you really want to get into barbecue and fancy yourself a Backyard SmokeMaster, or pit master, cooking with charcoal learning how to cook with charcoal is a must.
Yeah.
I love my pellet grill for convenience.
Yeah.
Late night, easy to do when I don't have time to, babysit the cooker or the grill or whatever.
Yeah.
Pellet grills are great. But if you really want to, learn the art of barbecue, then you got to learn how to cook with charcoal.
Yeah. My dad never had anything other than a kettle, and that's all he felt like he needed, which I understand.
Over Smoky Mountain.
Well, Yeah, okay. It was teeny tiny, though.
But that's okay.
Okay, fine.
Actually,
Is that better? Is it preferred?
Fact, so I argue, like with Francisco's point, and you don't have to have a big, massive charcoal-based cooker. I mean, that's the reason why the kettle,
it works,
which has been around at least since the 50s, and the design has not changed much.
Absolutely not.
Weber's kettle, it's tried and true.
And it works.
It's not hard to learn, to learn how to use.
That's right.
And it's not huge.
Nope. My dad's was not very big at all.
And, the size, it's large enough, to do some racks of ribs.
Oh, my God.
You can get a brisket on there, pork butt.
No, it served his needs. He didn't, and he kept it literally on his back porch. And he didn't have to go anywhere. It was always right there. So it worked for him.
Well, and kettles aren't expensive either.
They are not.
They're low cost of entry. So yeah, they're definitely a great choice. I think for barbecue. They're very versatile. Can be used for direct grilling, indirect grilling, smoking, baking.
Yeah,
you can do it all with a kettle.
Yeah,
do it all. Yeah, burgers, steaks, ribs, pizzas. Like I said, briskets, pork butt. You can cook. You can basically cook
pretty much
just
everything.
about anything.
Absolutely.
Except for. Well, I'm not going to say it, but except for the hog, you're not going to get a hog on a kettle, but you can do just about everything on a kettle. Jeff says, kettles are good price point for starting out and good for multiple cooking styles.
That's
exactly right. Exactly right. They impart good flavor. You're cooking with charcoal, so that's going to give you a nice, good smoky flavor.
Yeah.
You can enhance that with wood chunks. Go with the chunks. Don't go with the wood chips. Go with wood chunks. They're portable. They're not too big, so that makes them fairly portable. They're relatively lightweight. Easy to take with you camping and tailgating.
Yep.
Like we already mentioned, they're pretty affordable. Definitely not as expensive as, your gas grills and other charcoal types. Yeah. And if you take care of it,
it'll last.
It's durable. It'll last.
My dad's he had his for forever. He never really upgraded it, but it always worked.
Yeah. And for me, that just, to me, that just means throw a cover on it.
That's right.
Throw a cover on it, and then, keep your grill grates, pretty clean. Clean them on a regular basis, and, it'll last you. It'll be something that your kids can use.
That's right. That connectivity thing.
This technology, man. Oh, man.
All right. You're back on.
All right, so the cons, the temperature control, it can be a little bit definitely more of a challenge than using a gas grill where you're just turning the knob, or a pellet grill where you're just punching in the temperature that you want. But it's not hard, to learn how to manage temperatures and learn airflow on a kettle.
I do think it's a bit of a challenge, though, when you have like inclement weather, like weather conditions, winds, and it's cold, or, things that kind of make it a little bit more challenging. So I don't know. That's just my perception from, watching you battle while you're out there. But I think that's also still part of that's just par for the course, right?
Yeah. Your weather outside will definitely impact, and that's just not just for kettles.
Nope.
I mean, pretty much for anything that's charcoal based or like a stick burner.
Yeah.
The weather is going to play a part.
Yep.
For sure. And then with kettles, the heat up time, it can take longer for charcoal to heat up compared to gas or pellets.
But I have seen you kind of use things that help you get it hot, pretty quickly, so some of those little chimneys and other things you've used to kind of, and then the way you've set the coals and wood and whatnot, so.
Well, the setup of the wood, that's more of a cooking style thing in a kettle for the most part. But yeah, they're definitely, if you cooking with charcoal, I do recommend, and a good accessory to have is a chimney that you use as your fire starter.
Yeah.
That will definitely help get your coals going faster, and it's easy.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't cost that much.
Oh yeah, the chimneys are
pretty cheap.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap. All right, so for the cons, clean up. There's ash, and cleaning up ash and charcoal, it can be pretty messy. I always have my, I have specific gloves that I use, when I'm handling the charcoal.
Okay.
And then, I think you mentioned, or someone mentioned, the limited space. So the cooking area is generally smaller than that of some other grills, like a gas grill. So you can be limited if you're doing a large gathering. You might need 2 kettles.
Right.
For sure.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
All right, let's get into drums and bullets.
I like these.
So these are also charcoal-based cookers. Drum smokers, also known as bullets, and they've become pretty popular on the barbecue scene. Yeah. They're basically upright steel drums with a charcoal fire at the bottom and cooking grates above. And some, like pit barrel cooker, have popularized the style of cooking where you're hanging your meat and the drippings drip into the fire and reverberate back up into your food, that smoke flavor.
Doesn't that just sound delicious? I'm just like, I look at it, I'm like, oh my God.
So a lot of pros, even heating.
Yep, that looks like our baby.
Yeah, that's a Weber Smoky Mountain, that photo there. The shape, the airtight design that promotes excellent heat circulation, fuel efficiency. They do tend to use less charcoal than kettles, as well as offset, so that can be pretty economical when you look at the overall cost of things. And this to me is probably the biggest pro. Yeah. And I think that drums and bullets are highly underrated because they are super easy.
Yeah.
Once you do learn how to lock in the temperature, and if you do have an airtight drum, I do find that there aren't very many changes you need to make during the cook. They're really good at holding temperatures.
And it's interesting because I don't hear us as a community talking a lot about these drums, but I like them. So I actually think maybe we should be more of a proponent of them and see if we can, raise their appeal.
Well, I mean, we've done some videos where we've pitted, the drum up against some others, and they always hold their own.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
And drums are also very versatile.
Yeah.
You can cook just about anything.
They're not necessarily cheap, though. They're not. I mean, some of the ones I think that you've featured and talked about, there's a pretty big price difference, right?
No, I don't consider drums to be expensive.
You don't? Okay.
Like the Hunsaker Gateway.
What was it, like $500?
Maybe $900. Okay. All right. That's not,
It's not breaking your bank.
Well, I mean, in the barbecue world, there are definitely smokers and grills that you can get that'll be, thousands of dollars. Yeah. So, drums are not in that category.
Okay.
Pit barrel cookers, I believe, are they $300, $350? Somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay.
And then, of course, you can make your own. They call them the UDS, the ugly drum smoker.
Yeah.
Some folks, are into that. You make your own drum. Yeah. Not terribly expensive.
So if you did, does that mean you could go to like a fabricator and have them make something like this for you too, right? I mean, or is that like just me making that up?
Well, that's essentially what buying one from Hunsaker and Gateway is.
Okay.
Well, some people literally make them themselves in their backyard. You can buy these kits.
You have new comments, I think.
You know. So yeah.
Hit the arrow.
That's not me though. I'm not looking to make my own.
I think that would be such a cool challenge.
Nah, I don't have time for that.
All right.
All right. Did we already show this one?
We
showed that one.
It's Hog. It's back.
Let's see. This was kind of why I wasn't gonna say anything.
You should have just said the protein that shall not be named. Oh wait, you were there. Now you're.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone beyond that one. I think we're ready for the next, and we went beyond that one, and we were there, but now we're ready. You could probably skip it. Go to the next one.
All right. Well, let me get to this comment from Billy Wiggs. Wiggs. I don't know if this is your first time watching. Appreciate you tuning in or commenting. Definitely welcome to the party and hope to have you back. Yep. Billy says kettle grills is easy to have a hot side. Yes, a hot side for direct heat and a cooler side for holding food or slower cooking. Absolutely. Yeah, kettles are great, versatile for different types of cooking. Yeah, you're direct, you're indirect, low and slow, hot and fast. You can do it all with
Don't
the
you
kettle.
Like 3 of them?
3 what?
Of these, like the drums? You have 3 of them in the backyard?
That I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got 2. I've got 2 Hunsakers, and then I've got my Weber Smoky Mountain.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. There was something else I was going to say about kettle. Oh, and then for kettles, especially the Weber kettle, I think there's probably more accessories built and that support the kettles than anything. So I mean, just about any style of cooking that you want to do, and just about anything imaginable
can be done with a kettle.
Probably can be done with a kettle.
Cool.
Definitely. And back on the drums, Jeff says drums can give you that char grilled flavor with the meat cooking directly over the fire and the juices heating the coals.
Yeah. It works.
So more pros, durability, usually made from steel, so they're going to last. Mm-hmm. And
they can be portable.
Compact, pretty portable, especially if you get one that has wheels on it.
Yeah.
And the vertical design does give them a small footprint.
And the girl in me likes the fact that they can come in colors. Sorry. Just like that.
Well, the guys like the colors too. Yeah, you see drums, all types of colors.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then like Hunsaker, they'll paint it whatever color you want. So the sky's the limit.
Very cool.
All right. So for the cons, one con is the limited ability to access the fuel. So adding fuel or water can be a little bit challenging during the cook without disrupting the cooking process. There are some drums. There's one drum that I saw that has like the Weber Smoky Mountain has a door that you can access. That's right. And then there's another one. Is it made by Pit Boss? I think Pit Boss makes a drum that has a door with a handle, and you can open it and access the fuel that way as well. Okay. And then, lack of features. I mean, drums are pretty basic. Mm-hmm. They're basic, pretty simple, which is what I love about them. But compared to more advanced smokers, they may lack features like built-in thermometers or precise airflow control.
So they're kind of old school, but they work.
They're old school. I think they give you everything that you need without a ton of bells and whistles, but like Hunsaker, Gateway, they do have the built-in thermometers.
Yeah, they do.
Although, we always say, those built-in thermometers
They're
are
not
not going to
accurate.
give you an accurate temperature reading of the food at the grate level. And this is true in any grill or smoker.
Yeah.
So that's why, getting like a ThermoWorks or Fireboard, a wireless thermometer, or something that has like an ambient probe that you can clip at the grate level will give you a more accurate temperature reading of your food at the grate level. All right, let's see, where are we? Okay.
Double click.
Ceramic grills is next.
Okay, so this would be like the big green egg and that class. Yep.
Wow, it was just there. Yes, that is correct.
Ah,
Okay.
let's put it back in again. Yep, you got it.
All right. Ceramic grills, like the big green egg and the Kamado Joe. They have that distinct egg shape, and they're very versatile, offer a variety of different, ways that you can cook on them as well. And they are great. They have absolutely fantastic heat retention and efficiency.
They're pricey.
They are going to be more pricey, definitely, than like your kettle grills. Again, they're very versatile. You can do high heat cooking, low and slow cooking. Temperature control, once you get that temperature locked in, the way that they're built so rock solid, they have excellent insulation, and that provides stable temperatures and efficient fuel consumption, so they're not rip roaring through charcoal.
So which one of these have you been thinking about, like on your wish list of, boy, at some point I kind of want to try out one of these? What comes to mind?
Well, I've already got the Kamado Joe.
I know you do.
And I feel like if you have a Kamado Joe, then
It's
you
enough?
don't need a big green egg.
Okay, good.
And vice versa.
Good.
I think they're, pretty similar.
Okay, good.
I wouldn't be in the market like for the Primo, which is what was being shown here. I think to answer that question, it would probably be the Huntsman.
Oh,
Which is kind of a hybrid between the Kamado and a kettle.
Okay.
That's really the only. Well, I don't want to say that. There's more that I
consider.
wouldn't mind having, but yeah, the Huntsman would be the one that I would think about if I were in the market for another Kamado style cooker.
What's the price point on that one, roughly? Like 1,800, 2,000.
Jeff has one.
Oh,
I'm
Jeff.
blanking on the price of the Huntsman. I feel like it's around $900,
Oh,
something like that.
okay. That's good to know.
All right, don't tempt me though. You keep asking me questions about
I am not trying to tempt
the
you.
Huntsman.
I'm just trying to understand.
Okay.
Oh, 900, he said.
Yes, $900.
Nice.
Yeah, the Huntsman is $900. So some of the cons for the ceramics is, they're generally more expensive than gas and other charcoal grills, and that they're heavy, so they are not portable. Even when you first get them set up, you ideally should have someone there to help you, because they're pretty heavy, and once you kind of get it where it's going to sit,
You're not moving it.
you're not going to want to move it. Heat up time can take a little bit longer.
So it's
to
on
get
par
it.
with what? Heat up time is on par with what others type?
Well, I don't know that it's on. I mean, it just kind of has its own. It's just a little bit takes longer, to get things going. And then, then that's the thing is also another con. I don't think I showed it here.
Okay.
But, if you do overshoot your desired temperature, it's going to take you a good while to get that temperature back down because of the ceramic, that heavy insulation. It's going to hold on tight to those really hot temperatures, so it's going to take a while.
Could an option to consider be what Bruce just put in the chat?
Bruce said cinder block grills are very cheap too.
Never heard of it.
Now, I'm not familiar with cinder block
Me either.
grills.
I'm curious now, Bruce.
Cinder block grills. Okay, well, before I take a peek, okay, so, learning curve on ceramic grills. Mastering temperature control and airflow does require a little bit more practice, and it really is about making sure that you're not overshooting your temperatures too quickly.
Is a cinder block grill something that's like more homemade? Like, is this something you make? Or is it something you can purchase and install? See, that's what I'm thinking. Like, oh.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's what he means. Yeah,
Okay.
kind of making your own, I think, cinder block grill. And then what did he say? Yeah, they're very cheap too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't trust it though. I think I would do some harm trying to pull that off. I'm sorry. Although that one's kind of cool.
I wasn't expecting a video to play. Hold on. Yeah, I was just trying to get a better look at the picture.
Okay, I see one.
Yeah, cinder block.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's more. I think that's what you're talking about, Bruce. Making your own grill from the cinder blocks, right? Yeah, that definitely will not. Will not break your bank. Will not break your bank for sure.
But you can't really control the temperature, can you? Or is he saying that could work as well?
I have not cooked on a cinder block type grill. I think it's. I have cooked on. Like grills at the park, so I'm kind of thinking maybe it's kind of similar to that. So, your temperature control obviously is going to be impacted by, the charcoal that you have. Hopefully you're able to lower and raise the grate, from the fire.
Okay.
But yeah, that's definitely, that's like original, that's OG barbecuing, cooking that style. Yeah. And I was thinking this too. And I kind of knew that this is where that was going.
Oh boy.
Is that, Bruce again is talking about how, cinder block grills are used to cook pigs outdoors. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So
okay. Paul says, I just discovered your channel. I'm over in Concord.
Welcome, Paul.
I'm getting a kettle for Christmas. Been cooking on propane for too many years. All right, Paul. Well, we're glad you found this. Yeah, we're right next door. We're over in Clayton.
Absolutely.
And absolutely. Mm-hmm. Make that leap. Make that leap from propane, cooking with gas.
Yep.
Move over to charcoal. And again, there are a lot of options depending on, if you don't want to spend too much, a kettle's a great way to go.
Yep.
But then if you also want to get your feet wet, and not have a super tough learning curve, a drum smoker is a great way to go.
Yeah.
It's definitely a great way to go. All right, let's see. Where are we here? Okay, let's see if we can get through this.
All right.
So we talked about the learning curve.
That's right.
So that leaves offset smokers.
This is still my favorite. I know you know this, but yeah. I just like it. I just think they're the coolest thing ever. You can put so much in it. You can cook so many things. And I don't know. I felt like your cooking went to the next level when you got your offset smoker, and it kind of just really got you excited and going. So I don't know. I like them. So.
Yeah, I mean, offset smokers, I mean, that's pretty much, that's where you're graduating, to the big leagues.
I think so, too.
When you step up to an offset smoker. And yeah, like you said, for me, after I had, I had experienced pellet grills, I experienced gas, I had, failed several times with my first Weber Smoky Mountain. But, after getting a whole lot of cooks under my belt, I decided I wanted to try and move up to the offset smoker, the stick burner world, cooking primarily with wood splits. To me, that's the most authentic form of barbecue, and that's going to give you a strong smoky flavor. But there are some considerations.
That's true.
So some of the pros, again, authentic barbecue flavor, and it's the classic smoke flavor. Just don't understand it.
Well, technology sometimes. Yep, here it goes. Came back.
Large capacity. They are usually much larger, so they're going to give you a good size cooking area, and they're great for cooking for crowds,
including pigs.
Large cuts. You can do several large cuts. It's definitely versatility as well. So you can smoke, grill, you can bake on some offset smokers. Some come with warming racks and other special features. All right, let's see. What's got you chuckling over here? All right, Bruce says, Janine, I'm going to use that logic to present to my wife for getting my offset smoker. I need to step up my game.
In 2025, Bruce. That's right.
Absolutely. Durability. Well-built offset smokers are going to be durable. They're made from thick steel, usually 1/4-inch steel, and they can definitely last for decades with proper care.
They're heavy, and his had to get trucked in. I remember that, and how did they deliver it? How did they get into our backyard? It was some kind of a whole logistical challenge, but they got it. I don't remember how they did it, though.
Because they didn't do it. Kenyatta did it. Kenyatta got that offset smoker into the backyard by himself.
Yeah, which is not recommended, FYI.
No, it took a long time to get it out of the crate.
Right.
Out of the crate that it came in. And then I had read online where people would use the flats from the crate, the wood, you lay that down on your lawn so that when you push the stick burner over, you push it on top of the wood board, from the crate. And that was how I did it. But I was very determined.
Yes,
I
you was
waiting for so long to get it, and nothing was going to stop me from getting my stick burner set up. So that was definitely a labor of love for sure. Okay, but some of the cons. So those are pros.
Yep,
I'm sorry.
You haven't made it to the cons yet.
We talked about durability. Okay, this is the big con, and this is why, if you do move into the stick burner world, move with caution because the learning curve is real. And I don't care. You may be like an expert, cooking with your kettle grill, your charcoal-based grills, and maybe you've been doing it for years. And you might think that you can just, get your stick burner and just handle it, right off the bat. Trust me, you won't. You won't. It's going to take some time, but that's part of the fun of it, is learning how a stick burner operates. Every wood split that you cook with is different. Yeah. Like they say, like every snowflake is different. So is every wood split is different. It's going to cook a little bit differently from the last one. And you just, you learn from experience. You observe what's happening, and then also give yourself some leeway. Don't have unrealistic expectations of perfection, and also don't chase temperatures. Like, don't get in your head that you have to smoke at 225 and that you're going to try and keep your smoker at 225. That'll drive you nuts. Yeah. Give yourself a nice range, 225 to 275. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll learn where your stick burner likes to be naturally. So yeah, it's a learning curve. Fuel management, you need to learn, you need to constantly monitor, and you have to add the wood splits when one dies out. You got to be there to throw another one on the fire.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it. So it's not a set it and forget it experience. If that's what you're looking for,
this isn't it.
Yeah, this ain't it. Get a pellet grill or get a drum smoker. That'll be more of a set it and forget it experience once you lock in the temperature. But a stick burner ain't it. Definitely not it. But I love it. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, he does. He really does love it.
It's still my favorite to cook on. I don't get to cook on it as much as I would like. But when I do, I do enjoy that whole experience. So offset some cons, uneven heat distribution. Keep in mind, the side closest to the firebox is usually the hottest. And once you learn where those hot spots are and you learn how your cooker operates, and this is true for any cooker that you have, you can use those hot spots, cool spots, strategically and use that to your advantage. Maintenance. Offset smokers do require regular cleaning and upkeep, and you definitely don't want that stick burner that you spent all that money on to rust out. So you do want to take the time to take good care of it. And another point is also, if you do want to get a stick burner, don't cheap out.
Yeah.
Don't get a cheap offset. Don't fall for that, that $499 stick burner that you saw at Home Depot.
No, it's going to be cheap.
Because when you get it home, it's going to be made, with thin, cheap metal. It's not going to hold temperatures well. Temperatures are going to be constantly fluctuating, and it'll drive you nuts. So definitely don't. If you're going to go that route, invest, research, look for reputable fabricators of stick burners, and get yourself a good one. There are a lot of them. It doesn't have to be, like a Lone Star. I got a Lone Star, but, also look for the ones that are close to you.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Like in your area. All right, I got like 2 more slides. I just want to be able to show.
There you go.
Okay, so another con, again, the space. They're large. So
they are
make sure
large.
You've got space for it.
Yeah.
It's going to require space, and I kind of showed this one as a kind of an exaggerated example of how big a stick burner can be.
But they are big.
Yeah. But again, I think that's pretty much the last slide in the presentation. So we did make it through.
We did.
But hopefully, that gives you guys some food for thought.
Something to chew on.
Something to chew on. And I didn't cover everything. There are a ton of other types of grills and smokers out there.
Well, maybe that's part of part 2.
Maybe, but yeah, hopefully this gives you a good, kind of a good overview of, some popular choices that are worth considering. And then I'll just say, if you do enjoy talking about barbecue, learning about barbecue, sharing experiences, we do have an online membership community that the doors are open right now, and they will stay open through the end of the year with special prices. We'd love to have you in our community. We do have monthly meetups, which are kind of like our podcast, but the difference is in the meetups is you don't have to just look at me. You can turn your camera on as well.
Yep.
And interact that way. If you're cooking, you can, put the camera, show us what you're cooking, and we can, talk it up. We can chop it up live talking about barbecue. We do all of that in the Backyard SmokeMaster Society. So if you'd like to learn more about it, please go on over to Backyard SmokeMasterSociety.com. And then you can also reach out to me on social media. As I mentioned, we do have a new video that I think will be dropping tomorrow, where I'll be taking a closer look, or my introductory look, at the new wireless thermometers from Fireboard and from ThermaWorks. So this is the kind of stuff that I enjoy. I love barbecue, and hoping to inspire everyone to get out there and, try your hand at barbecue if you haven't already, or if you've done it and you want to get better. Hopefully you can get some inspiration from our podcast.
And level it up.
Level it up. All right, guys. Well, again, this is Janine and Kenyatta. We appreciate you all for tuning in and hanging with us through it. Seems like I have technical issues every week.
Well, man.
Trying to get this thing buttoned up, and we'll get there. But I appreciate you bearing with us. So we do plan to be back on next Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern.
We do have to go pick up producer Aaron.
Is that next weekend?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Scratch that. Correction, we will not be on live.
Probably not.
I have to pick up our daughter from school.
Yeah.
She'll be home for her winter break.
Right.
So hopefully we'll be back on live in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you'll come back and spend some time, hang out with us. So again, thank you for tuning in. Take care. Have a great weekend. Get out there, enjoy your grills and smokers, and we will see you soon.
Hit those likes. He's funny.